All right, welcome to another episode of the Butt Pod, everybody. This is the video segment in which I promote my upcoming guest. And look who it is, Katie-Ellen Humphries.
It's me. Hello.
I don't know if you still have it. I think you do. On a lot of your social media sites, you said you're 80% dimples or
Yeah,
something like
I'm
that.
I'm mostly dimples.
I'm mostly dimples. I'm at the stage now where I'm mostly neck waddle.
What a kick in the teeth, eh?
Yeah. You and I did a show together a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I said on stage was, I've known Katie-Ellen Humphries for quite a while. I'm still not sure if it's Katie-Ellen Humphries
Right.
or Katie-Ellen Humphries. But I often hear you refer to yourself, and other people refer to you as Katie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In your family growing up, were you just Katie?
My immediate family mostly calls me Kate, and mostly growing up I was Katie. Yeah.
Like friends at school?
In kindergarten I was Katie-Ellen, and then all like first grade through 12th I was Katie, and then in university age, and I was Katie-Ellen after that.
I get the feeling you don't have a particular hang up about this. Like whatever people call you is fine.
Yeah, I have no hang up. I only insisted on Katie-Ellen professionally, so sort of like, on promo posters or in intros and things like that.
Right.
Like I consider it kind of like that is my professional name. I like to keep that consistent, but aside from that, and then the only time sometimes I will get hung up is that because, again, my immediate family, they all call me Kate. So people I've not met but who know, so let's say a friend of a sibling will only have ever heard me referred to as Kate. And then when I meet them, they'll say, "Oh, you must be Kate." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. Do you love me?"
That's a big commitment right out of the gate. Like
Yeah,
that.
I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Do we have shared DNA?
Yeah,
I
but
don't
of course
think so.
they have like no concept that that's not my name.
Still, no reason for you not to be outraged. I think it's a good
you.
first move. How did you get into comedy? What was your sort of impetus to say, maybe I'm going to try doing stand-up comedy?
As a younger person, I was a athlete. I was a swimmer, a marathon swimmer.
I know, I'm fascinated by that.
Leaving at the end of university, that's when I was kind of wrapping up with swimming, because even if you are an Olympian, there's still not that far to go with swimming. And if you're not, when you're done, university sport life, that's kind of the end. And that whole time when I had been an athlete, what I wanted to be was a performer. I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to be doing like musical theater or anything. So I took improv classes, and I kind of got into a performing community that way. And I started doing a little bit of improv and then some sketch comedy. And then I got to have that blessed experience of hanging out with comedic performers after a comedic performance, where you like really kind of can get into it and hang out. And my real personality kind of started to come through. And a couple of the people who were sketch comedians and things said, "Hey, the way you talk like a stand-up comedian. When you talk, it sounds like you have jokes and things." And I was like, "Oh."
And your blazer has the sleeves rolled up.
That's right. Yeah. I was always asking them what the deal with stuff was.
You're wearing a skinny tie.
I'd go up to my friends and be like, "So what do you do? Are you two together?"
You were at our wedding.
Yeah.
How aware or how much of a fan were you of stand-up?
I had some comedy albums for sure. I wasn't hugely aware of it because I didn't know that late night television existed. I barely knew that late night existed just as a concept. So because, again, I was a marathon swimmer, I got up at
8 p.m.
Well, I got up at 4:30 every day from my early teens, from the time I was about 13 until mid-20s.
For swimming?
Yeah.
Because it strikes me like that's way too cold a time to swim. They should be getting people into the drink around 2 p.m. after the sun's had a chance to warm the water a little.
I mean, I mostly trained indoors, mostly trained in indoor pools, but it's still so cold. Like, I mean, jumping into that frigid water at 5:15 every morning, just absurd. But so I remember later when Conan was promised The Tonight Show, all of a sudden, everyone I knew, all of my comedy peers were talking about how Conan was so foundational for them, and that they had stayed up late every night and they'd watched him, and that's where they really cut their comedy teeth, and that's how they knew that things could be silly and absurd, and they learned these great basics of comedy. And I was like, people were watching television at night.
At midnight?
I genuinely had no concept of Conan at all, of just that this was even a thing. I watch stand up almost every day.
I love the notion of you being rattled by people watching TV well into the evening hours.
The wee hours of what to me the morn. Like this is these are just a
it's
couple hours
almost
before
swimming time.
That's it.